Extreme Masters World Championships here in Katowice, Poland. I'm Jared Kale, and I'm about to bring out the contestants in our fourth match of the day, if you count that last one. So please, scream and shout and dance and put your hands together for Deer. And his opponent, the other hero, Team Liquid's hero, HerO. You can just go to the booth, I guess. And we'll hear what the experts have to say about this upcoming match.
Thank you, Jared. Big match coming up. Massive match, in fact. And two phenomenal players. It's red versus blue. It's Mouse Sports versus Team Liquid. It's Deer versus Liquid HerO. Guys, joined by Katowice and Apollo once more. Deep intake of breath after the last match, but this one, OMG.
This one is a pretty hard one to predict. In fact, I'm trying to think back to who I said would win, and it was like really, really close to my mind. And
did you copy me again?
Yes.
I went for HerO, I think so.
I think I went for HerO.
Are you guys copying each other's notes? This isn't allowed in school.
Okay, sorry, teacher. Busted.
Busted. Oh, we're into the map. We're into the map veto right now. No, I mean, in all seriousness, these two, very different backgrounds. We've got Deer, who, came from like 2,800th in the WCS rankings one season to winning it in WCS Season 3, and not just winning it, but absolutely dominating it. Then didn't quite show up at BlizzCon in the way that we expected him to. On the flip side, we've had HerO, double DreamHack Winter Champion, of course, has always delivered when it matters most, but always on the foreign scene for some reason. IEM Champion, of course, and most recently in Cologne.
This is a guy that cares so much, and he's always been one of the best Protosses, right? Like, you think back, even back when he was on OGS, that almost no one can remember before Liquid, he was one of the best, but sometimes he brings it, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, let's just say the last couple of months, you bring up DreamHack Winter, you bring up IEM Cologne. What happened in the middle? He lost in WCS. So there's this massive, can he do it? Will he do it?
I mean, technically, we're still in winter, so that's a good thing.
You wouldn't be able to tell if you look outside in the weather in Europe.
Wonderful Poland, because it is really warm here. The sun is shining. There was not a cloud in the sky. I think the moon's in the sky. It's that bright right now. But you're right. Technically, it's still sort of winter. So he's always won his championships in winter. Deer, on the other hand, as we said, sort of came out of nowhere and then just appeared at WCS and just stomped over everyone. But hasn't really been able to take that forward, Katowice.
Since he joined Mouse, his results definitely declined a little bit, but this is something common amongst players that join new teams. A lot of times they don't deliver right away. They're kind of getting used to the new way of things. He's starting to travel a bunch more, a new practice environment. He's no longer with his old pro team in Korea. I think he's just kind of adjusting, because if you look just recently in the past few weeks, his results have been improving.
Okay. If you are just joining us at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, firstly, where the heck have you been? But here's what you've missed so far. CJ enters HerO, double winner in the regular season, 3-2 winner over Hyun. He will now face San, who overcame MC 3-1. As you can see in our second part of the bracket, there's a confusing scoreline. Nope, we're not in the Polt versus Naniwa game. Polt wins by a walkover against Naniwa. We now have Deer versus TL HerO, Team Liquid HerO, and he will go through to the winner of this match. Will play Polt in the quarterfinals. That's where we are right now. And the Net Wars people continue to wave their flags. Hello, Net Wars.
Net Wars has been around forever, haven't they? I remember Net Wars way back in the beginning of StarCraft 1. It was
even further than that then,
a long, long time.
Okay, let's get into our two players now. Firstly, of course, the Mouse Sports player, Deer. As you recently said, has transferred through. He seems to have lost something there.
He's hiding under the desk. He's up against this fearsome guy.
He's like, quick, Red Eye's talking about me, quick.
Let's make this difficult for him.
Yeah.
But Deer's been through a lot recently with traveling to Europe. He actually had to stay because Well, we have one thing in common, me and Deer, is we both lost our passports.
Glad you brought that up.
So he actually had to stay. I think it was after IEM Cologne, somewhere around there, where he had to stay an extra week or two to sort out his passport and stuff. And was, here with not what he brought with him and not for the time that he wanted to be here for. And that kept away from his practice. He was living on a couch for a little bit and before going back to Korea. So his schedule's been really messed up in the last couple of weeks to month. But coming into this, he's had a bit of time to practice and prepare. But remember that this bracket as well, nobody knew who was going up against each other. So it's not like specific practice, but just all-round practice.
But overall, you look at who's in the tournament, and he probably practiced a good amount of PvP, to be honest.
Yeah, especially because it's been his weakest for the last couple of months as well.
Okay, he goes up against Team Liquid's HerO, who is still, incredibly, only 23. It's, again, like MC, really. I just don't understand how they've stayed so young. I think we must be using some sort of different age system. But nevertheless, he is just 23. Multiple champion, of course, as we've already said. And, more recently, the champion of the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne.
And quite a thrilling victory that was for him as well, over Pulse, who just won against Nanoa in that 1-0 awesome series. He's such a strong player, but I'm worried about him because I'm trying to think. I think I did pick him to win this match, but I don't pick him to win the tournament, even though I know he has the skills required.
Yeah.
Just because this is a guy that he gets a bit nervous. He sometimes the pressure gets to him.
No, absolutely. Yeah, he's one of the ones that I know that he had a herbal brew for a while, and he used that to calm his nerves.
Yeah.
He does get very nervous, even at the age of 23, and that's kind of old now for a StarCraft player in a way, with lots of experience. Anyway, we are going to talk about your predictions in a moment, but thanks for now, gents. We are just going to check out Team Liquid HerO from IEM in Cologne. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne.
This is going to be epic. We have Liquid HerO going up against Polt after 2 amazing semi-finals. Polt has a lot of units on the other side of the map, and they're not aiding in this fight. And here it commences, and the EMPs are great, but are the Colossus not just gonna live forever here and roast and toast every single unit? It's HerO, who is 4 major championships. He's a sick nerd baller. He's an MVP winner. Polt is down 50 supply, a valiant effort from him, but it is Liquid HerO who stands strong with final storms as he marches through. GG is called, and HerO takes the Intel Extreme Masters Championship here in Cologne.
Doesn't seem all that long ago. It was weeks already. It's passed by since he won in the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. There's an interesting fact here that if he wins this game, he goes through to play Polt, which is a rematch from Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. But guess what, guys?
In the upper bracket.
In the upper bracket, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Wow. Champions versus champions.
Yeah, champions all over the place are going to get eliminated all day long. It's prediction time. Before we see your predictions, gents, let's just take a look at the community predictions. So you've been predicting your way through thousands actually today. I've been joining in facebook.com/IEM, and we are about to take a look at who you think will win. It's going to be HerO, according to you. 67-33. That's a lot further apart than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it really is. But HerO is such a fan favorite that it's not completely surprising that the community would vote so heavily in his favor, especially off that fresh win. Whereas Deer's last tournament win, what was it, last November or October?
WCS season 3. Yeah, it is a little while ago. So that's the community vote. Let's have a look at the predictions of our various commentators and experts and see how that stacks up. Oh, look. And they've all gone for HerO, apart from Artosis and In Control. So Artosis and Apollo finally have gone for a different player. Why?
Well, again, this was really, really close for me, but...
Do you have one of those special GSL coins that you take out and you flip when it's like this?
No, the GSL coin always lands on heads. It's actually really weird. But, the thing is, Deer has been playing better recently, and I think HerO puts a lot of undue pressure on himself. He's a great player, and if he could relax a bit more, I may have gone with him. But, Deer, I think it's a good call, and my streak's going to continue.
And when I look at HerO, I find it very difficult to pinpoint a weakness in his gameplay itself. He seems to be able to do everything and anything from any different style. He's got some of the best control, and I think we can all agree and hold hands and look each other in the eyes and say on a good day, HerO is capable of winning absolutely anybody and anything.
HerO is capable of winning against absolutely anybody and anything.
It's a shame we didn't have the camera on us at that point. You missed a very touching moment between you two. I wasn't quite sure whether I should join in with the extra hand and maybe we do ring a ring of roses or something. But
it's condition-based.
Yes.
It's condition-based.
Okay.
What condition is he in right now in that booth?
Yes.
Is he feeling good? Is he letting nerves crack into him? Because this is a massive tournament. $100,000 on the line for the first place. If he lets conditions get to him, then he's not the player, and I agree with you, Autosis, but I believe he is today, which is why I agree with me, and HerO's going to win.
Well, I'm glad that you agree with yourself. It would be really weird otherwise.
One of you is going to be 4-0.
No, Paul lost one.
I lost one.
You lost MC one.
Oh, of course you did. Yeah, MC messed it up. Well,
you and the community have actually agreed completely so far.
Yes,
I
we
think
all won.
MC must owe you a Korean barbecue then when we get back to Cologne.
Probably. I put my friendship up there, and it didn't pay off. He let me down.
Never bet on your friends, Apollo.
Yeah. Yeah, I went with, Katowice for Hearthstone at BlizzCon, and hey, that paid off.
The last time I didn't bet on MC, though, he played against Innovation in IEM Cologne.
Yes.
And I bet on Innovation to win, and
oh dear.
MC won.
Well, you messed that up.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, Katowice, I think we've got it now. There is an Apollo curse.
No.
Ooh, I think that could be the case. He's not doing as well right now.
Could be a thing. We're going to stop talking nonsense now. We're going to hand it over to two people who aren't going to talk any nonsense. They're going to bring you the match of the day. As far as I'm concerned, it's Dia versus Liquid HerO, and it's brought to you by Katowice and Todd.
Thanks very much, guys. Welcome back to the Caster's Desk as we delve into another PvP once again. Todd, we seem to be in this situation quite a bit.
Not nearly as much in this tournament yet as we used to, but some quite good Protoss successes. Maybe not in the last match that we had take place, but this is going to be a good one here. And I'm calling out Autosis, man. This is where it all begins. How do you bet against HerO, man?
I don't know.
Our Intel Extreme Masters Cologne champion who's been playing so impressively. You know, it's funny because HerO, he kind of lost his confidence against Zerg these days. He's not been doing well against Zerg, and it really showed in some of his games. But now, he's in a bracket where there is no Zerg. The only one was Sion, and he lost already. So he could face Protoss and Terrans up until the grand finals here. We could have a rematch spot against HerO if he wins here, and I think he's the favorite to take out Deer.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think HerO's looking really good, especially off the back of Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. The way in which we saw him perform there was superb, and now he's looking to just kind of breeze on through it. I must admit, though, Dia will be quite a tough person to beat. The last time these guys met was during Season 3 of last year's WCS, where Dia was able to beat HerO 2-1, 2-1.
Before winning the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. That was when Dia was at his absolute peak, on form. But now, can he do it here in this next best of 5, the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship? As we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, our red Protoss. Representing Mouse Sports, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dia. And up to the top left-hand corner, our champion of Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. Give it up for Team Liquid's HerO.
HerO, the last champion of the Intel Extreme Masters here. I really want to see a rematch. As much as I like Deer, he's a really nice guy. If we get to see a rematch HerO versus Sport, especially in the new patch.
Yes.
Remember the way that went? He was playing a lot of Charge Lot, Templar, Zealots. Well, Archons, so that came wrong. Charge Lot plus Zealots doesn't really mix up. But yeah, first he's going to have to take out Deer, who's really good in mirror matches himself. Deer, actually, he was in Europe for some time. He played a lot on the European ladder, and let me tell you, I talk a lot to European Protosses. A lot of them are very, very scared of him because he's very, very good in the mirror games. He plays a lot of very aggressive builds. He goes for Blink, and as much as I would like to say that his style, his aggression, like if you were to describe Deer's style, you could use aggression. I would rather use not passive, because that's actually, I know it might not make sense like this, but you're going to understand later on. He just doesn't play passive at all. And that does not mean always pure aggression. It's always calculated aggression, and it works out very well.
You mean even like just like moving forwards to show that he's a threat, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
Oh, you got You explained that a lot better than I actually.
But even like, you know, just pulling back from that point on, and he could have an expansion behind that and just play it out as the game goes. Now, very, very similar builds here from the very beginning. Double gas openers from both of them. How many are in each gas is the big question we need to ask. It's 3 in each for everybody, right?
For both.
Yeah, okay.
And the thing about Deer here too is he's been underperforming for some time. Obviously, he's not doing as well as he used to when he won back-to-back tournaments with very, very strong performances. But in this tournament, he's had a good showing. He made it up through the open bracket, only losing to Hyun. He beat Jaedong, he beat Linok, he beat HerO. So he's been playing pretty well here. And, well, you have to play pretty well to take out Liquid HerO, man.
Yeah.
Liquid, they've been doing very well these days overall, too. This is something we've seen a lot. At SID Story Cup as well, which actually it was the Europeans there doing very, very well from themselves. I feel like with HerO, it's either completely hit or miss. Like, he's either going to lose here in the first round or make it to the finals. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think he'll go very, very deep here if he's on form. Apollo mentioned it before, you know, it's condition. But I also like that you didn't beat around the bush when it comes to Dia. Let's face it, his results have degraded. He isn't as on top as he used to be. And I can only imagine that it was quite an expensive investment when Mouse picked him up. So now he needs to prove his worth. He needs to do something here. Well, first, start off by beating HerO so he can get a little bit further in this tournament.
Yeah, HerO didn't put too much effort into scouting just yet. He's just going to send his Mothership Core, which is actually a pretty scary thing to do right now because he has no information as to what might be headed his way, but he's playing it safe. He's getting a second sentry behind this and getting this target. In Wings of Liberty, you will always get a robo with an expansion like this. But it's just such a bad choice in Heart of the Swarm because of all the new units and all that. That's a Stargate is going to be a lot better. The thing is, we had a very quick Stargate here for Deer. If he goes for Phoenixes, he's going to be at a very huge... Oh, he cancels!
Oh, that's very important.
There goes the soundproof issue, man. No, I think he was probably thinking about it and then realized at the last second, he's like, you know what? If I go for an Oracle and I'm up against Phoenixes, which are very likely in this situation because, like I said, this is not Wings of Liberty. In Wings of Liberty, you will always get a robo, nothing else in this situation. Now, 90% of the time, behind this Sentry expand, you go for a Stargate.
Especially in cross positions. In cross positions, this is far more easy to hold than it would be on any other hero on Frost. But now, this moving across, you know, he's eventually going to spot this, but the Phoenix, they're always going to be able to zone out the Oracle, regardless of where it goes.
And I like that an Oracle was hallucinated here. Obviously, I don't think Pierre's going to panic and pull probes or anything. He even realized, oh, but this might throw him off. He's moving across the map with Phoenixes. Right now, if that Oracle of HerO finds its way into his mineral line, look at the Mothership Core, it's out of position.
Yeah, it's way out of position. That Oracle on the left-hand side here is going to be able to get in quite quickly.
Oh my God.
It's just skirting barely on the edge of these Phoenix.
A Phoenix might meet the Oracle. It's actually queued right into the path of where that Oracle is.
Oh, it's going to be very close. Sentry's already see it anyway, so he's going to go to work on the Sentries from the very beginning.
Oh, the Phoenix going away.
Normally, if he's going for Sentries,
42 energy.
All right, well, he's going to try and throw down Photon Overcharge. The Oracle will die, but him focusing the Sentries down is something that's interesting. I'm expecting some kind of weird follow-up here from HerO. He's got the Twilight Council already on the way.
Yeah, this is... He's not going to commit to Phoenixes. He realized that he's up against a quick Stargate. When he went for a late one himself, he probably realizes that he's behind on gas as well, overall. Just because of that quick expansion he took and the 2 sentries he made.
Yeah.
So he says, you know what, I'm just going to go into Blink behind this, defend against those Phoenixes and be in a good position going into the later part of the game, or at least decent one. He's actually a little bit behind on Walkers right now.
Very, very careful. Those Phoenix are massing further and further on. We have double gas has been taken for Dia a long time ago now in comparison to what we saw here for HerO, who's only just thrown them down.
This is going to be very important. I think Dia should be able to realize that there's not going to be mass Phoenixes from his opponents. Nobody really wants to go Phoenixes against Phoenixes.
Oh, he really wants that Mothership Core, but it was good control by HerO to keep it alive. He gets himself a Phoenix for the troubles. Those Phoenix could have gone out if he'd have let that Mothership Core go so easily.
Oh, and I love the way Dia's played this already. 7 Walkers leads. Well, make that...
Pick up a few.
10.
Gets quite a few there, and meanwhile behind this, HerO has gone for the Forge as well, so he's looking to play it out further, but obviously Dia is ahead in that regard. So Dia so far, I gotta say, I really like his position.
As much as I like his position though, he skipped on the Robo. You're supposed to get a Robo behind this, knowing that your opponent goes into Mass Stalkers, and then you make Immortal, so wow, those Phoenixes. Have to be careful here.
It's quite a bit of losses.
Man, such a late Robo, he starts it now! After getting the Twilight Council, do you think he goes for something like DTs? Or just Blink? He's getting a Void Ray. And he's gonna stop Blink.
Yeah, I think after him seeing the Blink was on the way for his opponent, he kind of wants to have the option of dealing with it in the same way. But sometimes, trying to deal with Blink can be a bit treacherous.
Big gateway explosion already happening for Deer. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries and sneak a probe across the map to start proxying some pylons. We could be seeing some follow-up attack upon completing the Blink research upgrades. And man, both players have played this pretty well, but Deer definitely got the better end of this game so far. And Templar Archives goes down very early here for HerO.
Yeah.
And he made Blink first. That means he has to commit to at least a minimum of Stalkers to defend against the Phoenixes. And he's not going to have that much gas to go into charge and a lot of Templars.
I think the interesting thing in the end is both of them actually delayed their robos quite heavily in it. I mean, HerO now was behind Deer for the majority of that time.
Yeah.
And I guess with the Stargate versus Stargate owner, they didn't feel too threatened by anything coming on the ground, so that they felt comfortable enough to delay that for now.
HerO has done a good job catching up on supply. And he's keeping up with the walkers. I'm actually surprised with the amount of probes he's lost, 8 in total. He's 3 supply behind right now, which definitely is a good recovery. But we see pylons being proxied across the map right now. You think Deer? I think he's just gonna go for a huge Blink attack. Look, he's only warping in Stalkers. He's adding even more gateways now. He's gonna go up to 8 gateways. The thing is, HerO, he could be getting some Immortals before that.
Well, they got a few of the Phoenix here. He caught some of those on... Oh, but he also tries to Blink forward to catch some of those. But again, Blink is always there, ever present for both of these guys. So it's very difficult to hunt them down. He even picks off a few.
Yeah.
With being so aggressive in the middle of the map here, as well as bringing sentries, he is actually going to go for this.
And as much as we talked about...
Oh, wait, no, he's pulling back. What?
Yeah, remember what I said and what you said. Oh, some sick analysis over here, man.
He's a tricky guy.
He moves out, he fakes aggression. He makes HerO cut probe for a little while, or HerO at least being very careful. You see he's throwing down pylons, he's walling off his natural. That Oracle not going to be able to do much here. That wasn't worth it at all. And the third base, HerO has no idea right now.
Look at this. I mean, we now have Immortals coming out for HerO. He was in a very defensive posture for this past minute or so. And now his third is heavily delayed behind this. So what we said at the beginning is very, very evident here in this first game. Deer is playing this out exactly how he wants it. Flexing his muscles, trying to take advantage behind that. And HerO's going to see this next turn. He's going to be like, God damn it, man. You really got away with that.
You know what's the biggest of deals here is, obviously Deer is quite ahead on walkers, but those gases on this third base, if you look at the gas income right now, that's going to mean so many more Archons, which are going to be so important in the next fight.
And the probe count's huge.
Yeah.
It's 65 to 49. That is a big lead across 3 bases.
Deer feels so confident that he even takes into Colossus. You don't do this unless you're absolutely sure you're not going to die to Zealot, Archon, Immortal, which in this case, I do think HerO's going to go for a fight here. He realized how far behind he is. He didn't actually spot the Robo base, so he doesn't know there is Colossus on the way, but he knows that he's far enough behind that he has to make something happen.
And HerO can't effectively take an efficient engagement right now because +2 is finished for Deer compared to this.
Oh, by the way, I didn't notice something. The Templar Archives only goes down now for Deer. I just said he was going to have a lot more Archons, but that's not true. He needed to do that a lot earlier.
Yeah, that's very, very late.
So I still think he's in a good position, but if HerO was to be able to make it happen, it's now. And good news for him, he's attacking now.
And HerO's going to try and... He's got his Stalkers positioned up to the north. God. He's going to try and hit this from 2 sides, or just use those Stalkers for harassment anyway. So he's got great options available to him, but at the same time, Deer realizes that. Warping in a few Zealots at his natural, whilst leaving this force here. Very good foresight here by Deer.
Those Archons are going to do so much. Deer actually preemptively used the Photon Overcharge on his natural. I like this move.
Oh, gets the Mothership core, nicely sniped out there. One Time Warp will deny this army from doing too much movement, and at the same time, another Time Warp does go down to try and slow down these Zealots on the left-hand side as HerO now tries and pushes forwards. Will he be able to get any of this? There's one extra Colossus that almost got caught off guard there, but at the same time, Deer will fall back to his natural, but this leaves his third completely exposed as he's up very, very high in terms of army supply. He actually blinks forward. These Zealots are going to tank quite a lot of damage here as well. HerO might be down in supply right now, but if he can kill off these 2 Colossi...
Deer has caught up on army supply. HerO had a more than 10... He had more than 10 more army supply here for a moment, but Deer, I think he's held this. He has Thermal Lens, +3 is about to finish. He's going to be in a great position if he holds this, but he chases out very, very far here.
Yeah, that one Colossus still very, very weak, very vulnerable. That third base's economy really kicked in for Dia just at the right time. But can he deal with all of these Archons? I think he might be able to. There's 2 Immortals with a second Colossi coming to rendezvous with that. He doesn't have the range to be able to keep up with the damage they're putting out, but the Stalker's pulling forward. He gets one of the Colossi. Will he end up getting the second one? The Archon's doing so much here for HerO. He takes a supply lead as well, but he has to pull on back.
Are you kidding me? Is HerO gonna do this? Dia is holding for now, but he's lost key units here. He's lost some of his Colossi, and +3 is not gonna matter if his army is this small.
Those Zealots instantly evaporate under the firepower of those Archons as the Mothership Core will fall. He's trying to get another Colossus. Will he get it? He gets it with the last Stalker shot. He's trying diligently to try and push on against this. 2 Archons caught in a very compromising position as they can't micro back against any of this. It's been such a scrappy back and forth fight here with such few units. But now that one Colossus has a really hard time of staying alive. If he just continues to blink on forwards, there's no gateway units there to help it out.
Wow, and HerO, he attacked at the right time. It made a world of difference here. He killed key units. +3 completed, but it doesn't matter if you have +3, if you have 25 army supply against 46. Dia's trying to catch up on the army supply right now. He's getting some Zealots, but man, those Archons plus Immortals, they're really making it work for HerO here, who's, by the way, he got up on the walker count. He's 1 walker behind right now.
Nice. Very, very well.
What is happening? Oh, the Archon was stuck here.
Yeah, he was stuck in. He needs to get him out as quickly as possible. Every unit is so important here to Dia, but at the same time, HerO has executed this aggression perfectly. Dia's chrono boosting into gateways. He needs more units. He feels he is under extreme amounts of pressure at this point.
It's all about these 2 Colossus, man, and the +3. The +3 is important, but being this far behind on army supply.
Dia wants that third. He really wants that third. Probes have to fight as well here against HerO, but he has so many Stalkers. He blinks forwards once again, brings down 1 Colossus. Will the second one fall as well? It looks like it will. He's going to take out these Archons, and now HerO has a significant supply advantage. Just powering on, kills the third. GG! HerO takes game number 1.
What's up, Artosis? Wow. There was only one moment, single timing he could attack at and make this work, and he went for it. I'm actually amazed. Like, some people might be like, oh, you know what? He knew he was behind, he had to attack. But seriously, making this work, I don't think you realize how hard this is, how patient he was with the Stalkers taking down the rocks. Yeah. If you just run in there, you're gonna lose against somebody like there. He's just gonna time warp, photon overcharge on his third base, and you lose. HerO, he forced the photon overcharge on that other base. You got the perfect surround on that initial army, and he hit just before there was the critical Colossus count. It worked perfectly for him. I'm so impressed with that first game.
How big a difference would it have made there in game number 1 if Dia's Templar Archives was 1 or 2 minutes ahead of time there, considering how late it was? Do you think that would have been the difference maker?
Yeah. He had so much gas, man.
Yeah.
He had so much
because
gas.
He took them so quickly.
This is such a huge mistake. Like, seriously, if Dia starts playing worse from there, with all the trouble he's been having in tournaments, we've seen him looking doubtful at times. Remember in Cologne, he busted out of the tournament pretty early, and he looked a little bit shaky there. He looked like really bothered by his performance, and rightfully so. He's one of those supposedly top performers. He was that guy who won WCS Korea back-to-back, and well, it was WCS Korea and World Finals.
Yeah, he was...
It actually is even more impressive.
That season, he absolutely dominated. Yeah. There was no one that stood toe-to-toe with Dia without absolutely crumbling. So now here, again, we're not seeing that same Dia. Yeah. We need to see that spark of magic that we normally saw from Dia in the past.
But you know what? He does very well early on in the games. He always sort of seems to be able to get some kind of a lead, but then somehow, through some bad moves or bad anticipation of what his opponent's going to do, he lets his opponent catch up. Yeah. Remember those games, Jussion, that he played in the open bracket? That game on Frost really comes to mind, where he had the +2, the blink, he moved out in the middle of the map, and then you just picture like a top Protoss not missing a single force field and crushing the Zerg units and not losing a single or anything. And then somehow Hyun got in there and killed all of the sentries, chased Dia back, and then from there he was able to win.
Yeah.
So Dia, even though he's able to get good early on leads, he has nice builds, he has good execution, it seems like he crumbles at times in the later stages of the game, which is really hard to understand. Like, why does that happen?
And it's something that can't happen here on this grand stage.
Not against HerO.
No, because HerO will pounce at the opportunity. And I think more so for HerO than not, that first game and his ability to push onto that third and crush the opposition there, that will give him a bit of a confidence boost here, I gotta say. I think he looked really, really good in that game, despite the initial opener, despite his third being later, despite him being down in probes, he was still able to come back. And right now, he is not in the lobby, because he's probably watching the replay. He's probably making sure of every single factor that went into that first game, confirming it in his mind, and then moving on to the next.
Wow, dear. Cannot even begin to try and guess what's going on in his head right now. After having a lead like this, I mean, this was no Hyun versus HerO caliber.
No.
of throwing away or of a comeback, but still, like, he was in a good position. I would have never thought. I mean, I said it. It was now never for HerO, but just the way it went, and also when you're gonna lose this kind of a game, barely not holding, it's also going to destroy you mentally completely. You really need to be able to move on. Those are the most frustrating games to lose, where you're ahead, your opponent comes back, and it's really nail-beating fight until the very, very end, which it was now. I wasn't sure if it was going to work out for HerO. He had a slight army lead, but there was these two Colossi. Not having any Immortals also, I think, played a big role, because HerO, he played this so smart, man. I know I've said it many times, but still, like, I need to say it again. He realized there was no Immortals left. So what did he do? He knew that he had Blink. He remade Stalkers.
Yeah.
That was so
to
smart.
Get on top of the Colossi.
With one Robo, you cannot get both Immortals and Colossus at the same time. So he knew there was not going to be any Immortals. It's the right move to get Stalkers. He blinked in there, sniped the Colossi, won the game.
Absolutely. Again, all of those blinks forwards, it's not only eventually killing Colossus that's the big deal, it's forcing them to always micro and then negating the damage from that point on onto your Zealots, onto your Archons. If they'd have been sat there to just have free reign over that entire composition, then there's no telling how much damage that they would have done to that and then pushed HerO away from the third. So it's a very, very big deal when it comes to those small decisions that you just outlined.
I have a question, Katowice. After all these PvPs we've casted, I'm sure you've learned a lot.
Seemingly.
How actually good is your PvP?
My PvP is actually not too bad, but that's only because I do 2 Immortals and Stalkers with 2 Sentries on maps like Polar Knight, and then Force Field between the Nexus and the main, and then just kill the Nexus and run away.
Oh, you mean that? You mean that push where you force fields the unit away?
Yeah, man, I love it. It's great.
Wow. You're such a sneaky player.
Please don't straight up counter me on ladder if you meet me, but yeah, that'll be... Actually, no, I don't even play under my name anyway, so you won't know, huh? But yeah, that is exactly what I love doing. It's great fun.
That sounded horrible at first, but then if you attack the expansion in force field and you pull it off, if your opponent is bad enough not to see it coming, I guess it can work.
Dude, I'm not exactly playing at the top Masters levels and Grandmasters, but there you go. Anyway, so guys, let's jump into game number 2 in this best of 5, as we have Dia going up against Team Liquid's HerO to find out who advances on to the round of 8. All right, spawning up to the north on Polar Knight of all maps, yeah, as our red Protoss representing Mouse Sports. Give it up for Dia. And down to the south, we have our blue Protoss, representing Team Liquid in colors and glorious fashion. Give it up for HerO!
As Roti would say, representing the horse.
The horse. It's the year of the horse, man. Don't you know
Really
that?
shows.
Yeah, it really does. It really does, actually, now that I think about it. Jeez. HerO had a great performance at Cologne, then we had C-Story Cup, where we saw people like Snoot, and TLO was able to defeat Chachi in the 3rd place match as well. A great result for him. Team Liquid is looking very, very scary right now.
And you know, both of these players, in their WCS regional, that will be GSL for Deer, he's actually out. He didn't make it out of the round of 16. Maru and Zes made it out of his group, so he's definitely going to want to win. He actually lost in a PvP against Zes in that group. Whereas HerO, he bombed out very early on in WCS America with a very disappointing performance. But then, I really feel like he's been putting in the hours, he's been practicing so hard.
Yeah.
And I really feel like right now, HerO's only weakness, and he's probably still pretty scary in it, is PvZ. And again, he doesn't have a single Zerg in his bracket, so he's probably pretty happy about this. And yeah, he just played so well at first game.
Interesting development we have here, Todd. We have 2 gas against 1. What are you making of this?
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be a very quick aggression here by HerO. That was a 10 gate, I guess. And you see that cybernetic score is actually not that much earlier than his opponent, but he could go for something like 3 gates, 4 gates. I think it's going to be a 3 gates. And
Double Zealot opener.
Yeah, sadly for him, Deer is going to scout, in which case, we've seen this before, remember? If you're the defending player, you're able to defend a lot better knowing that this is actually coming. Yeah, see, the second gateway is actually being thrown down already. And Deer is going to have a few choices as far as what you... Oh! This is going to be spot. Surely Deer saw
Well,
that.
he'll see the second one regardless, right? But
Do you think he gets a Stalker or a
he might
Sentry?
think it's the first, I guess. I think he gets a Stalker to micro against it. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Todd?
What? He's actually not starting anything.
He's not started anything.
He queued the Mothership Core. I don't think he saw that Zealot, actually.
No, I don't think he saw the first one. And the second one, he might think it's the first. But he did see Chrono Boost into the gateway just now. That tips him off. He's getting that Stalker, as well as some other ship.
And this was actually two Zealots here by HerO. And upon being scouted, I really like that HerO. I think he's changing his plan. You see, he's not going to boosting out warp gates. He's not going to go for a big gateway aggression, I think. The second Stalker is going to come out. He's going to chase away that probe. A good transition we could see out of HerO is a quick expansion. But then again, he doesn't have that many probes on the minerals. He takes a second gas in front of that probe. Yeah. And man, those Zealots, they're not going to do a single thing. Deer might actually, if Deer throws down the third gateway and go for 3 Stalkers plus the Mothership Core aggression, HerO's going to be in trouble.
Yeah,
he's legit going to be in trouble. The Stalkers, they're going to have so much ability to make something happen for him.
Yeah, just keep kiting. He would always have the highest Stalker count in this regard, and now, well, he has to kite back as best he can as well. Good Stalker control already. Will bring down 1 Zealot without much shields being taken really off there. And now it's 3 Stalkers against this. That Stalker really has to get out of there.
The Zealot, though, was kind of ignored here for a second.
Oh,
is he going to lose a single probe?
Zips
Probably
that.
not.
And trying to micro him back. Will he be able to get it away? Looks like he will.
My God, these guys are good.
Very good control there.
And Deer's chasing HerO here, but HerO is going to have the 3 gates into... Oh, he gets a 4th one! He has a proxy pylon across the map, which has been ignored by Deer, because Deer wants to counterattack. Oh, this is going to go better for HerO here, I think.
That was a really cool turnaround there, as well as he had high ground vision, or advantage at least there for HerO.
Oh, as I say that, actually, Deer had a little bit more shields, and he had the first hit somehow. And I'm so shocked he's chasing back HerO so far.
It's very, very bold. He's going to try and do this, but he does see 3 Stalkers warping in. That really tips him off as to, well, firstly, how many gates there are initially up and running, but that 4th one, not yet spotted.
Deer is really good at getting early on leads, but can he
hold on to it?
Yeah. It's really hard against somebody like HerO, who's always able to make most of every situation. And I think HerO just counters attack. Look at those units on the expansion.
Well, 5 Stalkers versus 5 Stalkers, and good control here by Deer so far. Really wins out on this engagement. Meanwhile, a few Zealots over on the right-hand side here for HerO, trying to push on forwards, but the Stalkers are always winning outright here for Deer. He just needs to hold on against these Zealots, and I think he's going to be fine. Oh, very nicely done with that Photon Overcharge as well, but does need to save those sentries, as they will be chased down and cornered for just... Oh, no. There is the Robo.
Oh, there's a lot of units for HerO here, and those units of Deer, they are trapped outside, but I think they are enough to maybe take on those units.
Yeah, tries to focus fire the lower ones down, as Deer still has a superior Stalker count. So as he's trading away, the resources lost for HerO is probably very much so in favor of Deer. This
has to be
hard.
21 walkers to 30. Deer has done it here with the nice haul. Nice micro, man. This is top-notch, world-class micro, straight up. From start to finish here.
And the Mothership Core comes along for a last hurrah. I'm not sure this is really going to help out a whole lot. Once those Stalkers fall, the Mothership Core doesn't have enough damage to really hold on out against this. This is all spiraling out of control here for HerO in game number 2.
He's going to lose the Mothership Core, and he was very stubborn about this, you know? He tried to defer, and even when there was 5 Stalkers there, he warped a single one. You know what Autosys will say?
What would
you stay the course, man. The captain goes down with his ship.
Yeah. And there you go, GG. Game number 2 goes to Deer. He ties it up 1-1 after a pretty impressive hold and good control.
Very, very nice game here out of both players. HerO, very questionable build, to be honest. I wonder what he was trying to catch Deer off guard with. Maybe some kind of no scout greedy expansion or something like that. But Deer, he reads the game very, very well early on.
Yes. Seemingly so, yeah.
Maybe really not as well as CJ HerO, but...
yeah. He reads the game very, very well.
CJ HerO reads the game perfectly throughout the entire game. Even though he was almost eliminated today, I'm still quite in shock. about that fourth game, man.
I don't think HerO here from that game should take too much away from that in terms of like...
He just tried something, didn't work out.
It's like, oh, okay, all right, on to game 3, a bit more of a normal game possibly from that point. Because if that had have worked and you would have gone 2-0 up in this series, imagine the confidence boost that would give you. Imagine like just outright advantage in general that gives a player like HerO. So him trying that up there, it's a blip, it's gone. And now HerO goes on to map number 3, tied up one apiece. And, well, at least it's a little bit of a lifeline for Dia in the end.
I know that HerO really is the guy to mix it up, to be like the freestyler that we all know, that's to always change build from one map to another. But I would really like to see him play at least a little bit more standard here. Say with something like a blink opener, some aggression, but not committing too much, making sure he's safe and all that, and then going into a standard game with an expansion. Because I really think he's still very, very good at this kind of game. And a lot better than used to be, at least. Because remember in Shanghai, actually, when he played against Oz, every game that went the distance, Oz ended up winning in.
Yeah.
In the later stages of the game, Oz just seemed like the better player. But now he's up against Deer, somebody who is very good at the early game. So is HerO able to recognize that, or does HerO attribute those losses just, well, that loss and that deficit in the first game that he was in, to basically his build order being a little bit unfortunate, not panning out as well as he had planned to, and some mistakes here and there? I guess we'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a little bit more standard here, and that's actually a very risky prediction to make.
And especially since it's kind of it's the map's Yonsu, but I would edge also on the side of a bit more standard. Maybe just a more normal 3-gate opener or something like that, which can work out quite nicely on Yonsu.
I think Deer is a big fan of Blink Stalkers, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the European ladder, I think he uses them so much, like almost every single game in PvP, that makes him a little bit predictable. Then again, it's just ladder. Some players in ladder and tournament, they will play very differently. Deer could be one of them. But if I was HerO here and I identified that, I think I would try maybe to play Blink myself, just to try and see how it goes on fair grounds.
Nice map for Blink.
Yeah.
Nice map for it. You were saying?
No. I'm reading the chat because they're talking about the builds. It's a little bit funny.
Oh wow.
In the games.
Yeah.
He was like 3 gates. HerO asked Deer if he had 3 gates to previous game, and Deer was like yes, and he's like I had Robo too.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into game number 3 now for this PvP. 1 apiece, so we're basically reset to a best of 3 as we find out who is going to advance on to the round of 8 once again. Mr. Mao's Dia going up against Team Liquid's HerO. HerO, a player that moved over to a foreign team very, very early on in StarCraft's age compared to most Koreans, but Dia making the transition very recently, looking to impress, as we have spawning up to the top right-hand corner, our Red Protoss representing e.sport. Give it up for Dia. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, Team Liquid's very own, very, very lovable. Give it up for HerO.
Yeah, HerO here. I'm a little bit disappointed with his early game versus Deer. It's only 2 games and it's PvP, a very volatile matchup, but I expect nothing else than a good lead from HerO from very early on in the series. And not only because I predicted that he would win. I actually want to see it happen and see how it turns out. Again, it's the best of 5 too, so it's not a decisive game. Obviously going up 2-1 in a best of 5 always a nice thing to happen. And standard gateway 13 for both players. Deer is just going to check inside of his base briefly, as is HerO. I think HerO scouts after this? No, probably not, with the way it's going.
Yeah, I think he just goes back to the mineral line, gets a lot of mineral conservation, and from that point on just plays out a nice economical opener in comparison.
It's weird that Deer didn't scout the in-base, like near that small ramp on the bottom right-hand side. No, he did? Is that cleared?
Yeah, I think he... no, by the looks of things,
he's clearing it now. Yeah. 2 minutes 21. That's when you will spot a cannon rush actually earlier than that, a little bit before 2 minutes.
And the building placement's always so that it's far away from that kind of anything. That anyway. So
you know, I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say Deer has been playing on Europe. He definitely needs to check that corner.
Yeah, you do. You certainly do. It's fallen out of favor quite a bit now, though, on this map. We haven't seen it that much in comparison to how we did before. Everyone just end up spotting out that. And now Dia's sending his probe over to have a look around. Noticeably 2 guys in each of guys is here for HerO. And he's scouting out very, very diligently on his natural as well.
Yeah, important to do so at this level. Second gateway going down by Deer. Zealot was skipped for HerO. I think he's going to do the same, exactly the same build so far from both players.
Yeah, with the extra gateways on the way, it really feels like a bigger Stalker open. But you can, at the same time, change up a little bit. You can have a sentry in that as well sometimes.
They're definitely going to be going for a few Stalkers here. They could start their tech after just one Stalker, but it must be close to finishing, because if that probe gets back in here, sees your tech, it's so bad. It's like the worst feeling ever. It's like your opponent knows, but you don't know.
Yeah, that is...
Like you're playing blind and you're up against G.I. Joe and he's seen everything. It's like, well, guess I'm not winning that one. Or at least it's going to be very tough. Much earlier, Mothership Core here by Deer, by the way. HerO just started his, so a little bit of a difference in the builds here.
Yeah, it's actually moving out very, very fast.
Yeah. Third gateway. And HerO, he skipped second and third Stalker for now to get that very quick third gateway. So I think he could go for some aggression. Usually you're always going to want to do this if you go for aggression. And he brought back his probe. This is weird. He hasn't proxied a pylon across the map. He didn't hide his probe. He brought it back. Maybe he's trying to sell a story here.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, he sends it around the map on the bottom right-hand side.
Well, he's certainly
this is barely not going to be seen.
And that Stalker will end up trying to poke around.
He didn't see it, did he?
I don't think
those
so.
probes, they're next to each other.
It's very, very close. If he just moves slightly down...
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He spots it instantaneously. Fantastic.
And the Stalker is going to catch the probe that's getting closer to try and proxy a pylon. It's actually looking for it. I think Deer knows.
Yeah, he does. He
Again,
really
Deer
does.
with the perfect early game read in this game. He's going to send his Mothership Core inside his opponent's base. That's bad news, by the way. He's going to have to recall, and he's not going to have photon overcharge, so I think he's just going to stay here and maybe lose that Mothership Core and kill as many probes as he can.
Already going to work on the probes. Meanwhile, does not want to take extra shots on that Mothership Core. If that dies off, it's going to make the engagement a whole lot harder. Has to recall out.
This is great. He forced 2 Stalkers being made here.
Yeah.
HerO had no choice. If he didn't make those Stalkers, he would have lost so many probes. So now there's going to be 2 Stalkers less across the map attacking him. And this is still a very tough hold for him. He needs to get as many Stalkers out as possible. He actually has Blink very close to finishing.
Exactly, that needs to come out. That
70
really does.
seconds.
If he can get that out, it's going to be completely fine, but he's trying to get to that Mothership Core. It's so close to dying, and it will go down. A nice pickup there for Deer. It's going to make it all the more hard for HerO to do anything in that location.
Deer's early game is absolutely ridiculous series. Every game he gets the perfect read, and HerO, it looks like he's going to commit. Again, he's staying the course.
And Deer, meanwhile, he's thrown down a pylon on the other side, maybe to warp in a Zealot or 2 once he realizes that he is stable back at home. He's already shoot this away, but he doesn't realize it fully. Oh, yes, he must do, because he's actually going down to kill the pylon.
Can you imagine the read that it takes by Deer right now not to get detection? He's so sure that there's not going to be any DTs, and there isn't. This is absolutely sick here.
That's a really good point. Although he's warped in already across the map.
He's just going to go for the counter, and with Blink against no Blink. Oh, wow, actually those rocks. He's in a scary position. Be careful, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, getting cut would be sad.
Remember that highlight with the roaches?
Oh, those poor little roaches.
Everybody's haunted by this.
Yeah, they really are. But now he has so many more Stalkers over here with Blink as well. So if he just brings his reinforcement ones, but also the reinforcement ones from the back just killed off the pylon on the right-hand side.
Even as a probe in his opponent's base. He's going to proxy a pylon.
Uh-oh. But likewise, Deer actually has... Is that a probe or is it a Zealot going into his opponent's base? It was the Observer. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is now, he has Blink against no Blink. That Mothership Core doesn't have energy for Photon Overcharge either. This is really, really hard for HerO to hold on against. That one Immortal is going to get focused down. That was his one lifeline to try and keep him in this engagement. But it falls. He pulls a few probes off, but that's not going to make the difference when he's got Blink and reinforcing Stalkers from his main. The resources lost far in favor of Deer here. Doing so well to kill off this, to defend, to read the game. Blinks forwards to kill off the Mothership Core. And that's going to be what she wrote. These probes trying to fight for their lives. But now Deer so far up. GG. Wow, Deer.
All right. Units lost. 38 for HerO, 8 for Deer. Which, you're going to tell me, 4,000 resources lost to 1,400. This is irrelevant. It's just basically, he won the game early.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to highlight here is the dominance with which Deer just took out HerO. This is one of the guys that is supposed to have one of the best micro out there. And he does have one of the best micro out there. But Deer he's reading him so well and he's adapting so well to everything that HerO's doing that he's making basically Micro irrelevant in this series. He outplays his opponent completely, and
do you see that, man? Dia very happy with that win. Very, very happy. And now HerO is looking a bit shell-shocked. Gotta say, this is not good for him. This really isn't.
I really thought this was going to be the other way around after the first game. And
so did I.
Thought Dia was going to be crushed mentally and maybe play a little bit worse, but in this case, he did not get phased by this first game.
He's reading the earlier stages so well this game.
He's playing crazily well here.
Well, he is now at match point. He is one game away from advancing on to the round of 8, is mousesports Dia. A lot of people out there rooting for Team Liquid's HerO, and he is a big fan favorite out there, but right now he's not doing the business, Todd. He's not doing the business. He needs to buckle on down and play this out a bit further. Because, I mean, the builds we've seen out of him have been, you know, we've seen him trying to go for aggression and it's not really worked out so much, but the game he won was a bit of a longer game. It was a bit, you know, moving on, trying to eventually take that third base. I would like to see him go for a longer game here.
Again, I really feel like playing against Deer, you're not going to win in the other game. Let's be honest here. This guy is ridiculous. He sees everything coming. He scouts a lot with the probe first, then he moves out. He's a little bit aggressive. He takes the watchtowers. He flies his mothership. That read from the... It's like, you get your mothership core on your opponent's base, you see what he does, you win the game.
Yeah.
It's basically a good way to summarize what happened. But not only that, like forcing those two stalkers across the map, that was the biggest of deal. And also the way he did it with the mothership core, he went all the way around. He didn't go through the watchtowers in the middle like a noob, like to be spotted and then defended. He went all the way around. This was not spotted until it was too late, until that mothership core was shooting down probes, which is a quite bad scenario when you're across the map.
Yeah.
At least HerO had warp gate, but he was forced into warping in two stalkers back at home. We all knew what was going to happen. The recall happened, and then from there you just hold. You have blink, and dear, you know there is still a lot of mistakes he could have made here. He could have been thinking, oh, he knows he's behind. He's gonna go into DTs. He gets a robo, and then he has less stalkers, and he cannot finish the game, or he cannot extend his lead through aggression. In this case, he didn't go for this at all. He was like, you know what? I saw how many stalkers you had in front of my base. I know that you're gonna commit to this. I'm just gonna get a lot of stalkers and straight out, right out kill you.
Yeah.
And it worked out. It worked out pretty well for him.
We have a nice PvP on the main stage, but also you can check out another PvP over with Mr. Nathanius at twitch.tv/Nathanius. Because of scheduling, we don't have time to do every single round of 16 match there, so make sure to check out SOS versus Oz. But now we move into game number 4 between HerO and Dia, and now this is where HerO makes it matter. This is where he stages the comeback. Heavy Rain's a good map for it, as we now jump right on in to find out if Dia can take it 3-1, or if HerO can tie it up, make it 2-2, and keep his hopes alive here at this tournament. All right, let's get into it. So we have mousesports playing against Team Liquid, spawning down to the south as our red Protoss once again. One game away from advancing on. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for mousesports Dia. And up to the north position as our blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. Give it up for HerO.
Who is it that decided we didn't have time because of scheduling to cast SOS versus Oz? I will actually fist fight him.
Dude, you want as many PvPs as you can get. Just let it go.
Not even, I think even if it was another matchup, these players, I want to see everything. That's why, again, guys, you should definitely check out who doesn't have too many thoughts. It's 2014. Tune into both streams and follow both games because these players are absolutely sick and amazing.
Yeah, every single series here today, every single series throughout this entire tournament is something I don't want to miss. So we're casting now, but I'm going to be going back and watching the VODs of SOS versus Oz and making sure I know exactly what's going on, because those guys, I especially want to see how SOS is playing now, because we haven't seen him too much, not a huge amount. So I'm very curious to see what shape he's in.
Yeah, that was weird, by the way. HerO, he was going to throw down his first gas, and he didn't do it, then he threw it down on the other side. But Heavy Rain. This is a very, very good Blink map here. Dia has been doing well with Blink. If you're HerO, you have to anticipate 90% of the time you're going to be up against some kind of Blink play. And I love that move. The pylon here, I think he realized that Deer has been putting a lot of effort into scouting his opponents.
Yeah.
If you scout somebody who has only one pylon in his main, what do you think? What are you thinking?
You're just gonna be like, where's that proxy, man? Where is
Yes,
it?
exactly. And that's going to put fear in your opponent's eye. If he misreads this and thinks this is his target, he's going to play overly defensive, which will be good for HerO, because Deer has been reading the game so well. Then again, now he's not going for a scout. If he had gone for a scout, the question will be, does he check the natural expansion? But in this case, we're not going to have to wonder, because for the first time he hasn't gone for a scout. So
this is actually the best thing for Dia. Not scouting is the greatest thing for him right now.
Not scouting is not always a good thing. Like for now.
But in this situation, it's not too bad.
Dude, it's Deer. If he had scouted, he would have checked the expansion after
yeah,
seeing
I think so as well. Anyway, there's one Stalker now on the way, being front boosted out for HerO.
He's going to attack with like Stalkers and Mothership Core. He's going to kill the Pylon on the expansion, supply block HerO. He's going to backfire completely.
It didn't go so well in the end, yeah. But now we have double gateways worth of production will be out for Dia. That will always give him a slight advantage going into anything that would occur.
Yeah.
But look at this, HerO is actually going for an extremely quick Twilight Council behind this.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised with HerO's stubbornness so far in this series. Every time he went for something and it was scouted, he still went for it. HerO for me is the guy who knows how to adapt out of every single situation, no matter how far behind he is. We saw what happened in the first game. He was quite far behind, he came back. HerO for me is the guy who, versus Supernova, he opened 4 gates, this was scouted, and then he started making probes. He took an expansion back at a time where transitioning out of 4 gate was quite impossible.
Yeah.
And he still made it work.
But also HerO here is taking no chances himself. He sent his Mothership Core over to the right-hand side to see if there were any proxies, brings it right on back, and there's the Dark Shrine for HerO.
And because of all the damage that was done on that Mothership Core, this is not going to be scouted, I think.
But the robo started exactly at the same time. So Dia is going to have the correct response. Dia is 1 game up at least in this series. He's playing this out super safe.
Yeah.
He's got sentries on the way. He's going to have an observer out. He wants to get caught against nothing, then eventually try and expand or something like that, and just play a very standard game from there on out.
A good way to be safe against everything in PvP is having Stalkers in your mineral line against Oracle. In this case, he's pressuring with them, but he's kept the Mothership Core back at home with the Photon Overcharge.
Oh, that probe! Traitor probe! He blocked the Stalker! You mean little fella!
And Warp Gates is not nearing completion. He's 14 seconds away. He's going to force the Photon Overcharge. All those Deer keep getting the better end of all of those small skirmishes, which HerO supposedly... Oh no. I called it.
It's the pylon.
It's backfiring.
Oh dear me.
He cannot even go down the ramp. HerO's going to warp in an extra Stalker and try and defend it, but it's going to be too late. And Deer goes for the expansion. I was saying a second ago, as Deer, he should be retreating here.
Yeah, he has to go away. He has to go. There's no way he can fight that.
I was saying a second ago, if you want to be safe against everything in PvP, you get Stalkers in your middle line plus Mothership Core to be safe against Oracle. The Photon Overcharge obviously going to help against that, and then you get detection for DTs, and then you got basically everything covered.
Yeah.
Against Blink, you're going to be able to get Immortals, you have the Photon Overcharge as well.
And now HerO resigns himself to the fact that he has to have an expansion later. I don't even think he knows about his opponent's expansion, right? So this
HerO doesn't even have a proxy pylon out on the map. He's going to send a DT, which is going to be spotted by the Observer.
Oh, the unluckiness of this for HerO. Dia spots that.
Okay, so we have superheroes. We have Pulse is Captain America. G.I. Joe is either HerO or San. Who is Deer? Hawkeye.
Dude, he sees everything, man. He sees it again. He's like, oh, look, the lovely little DT. I'll just follow that for a while. And then kill it off. There's nothing that DT can do.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Damage.
Ridiculous what we've seen here out of Deer in terms of read. I guess there's a little bit of fortunate situations too, like surely, but he's putting in the effort with his scouting, enough effort to be able to get all of this information. It's not random information.
The Dark Shrine opener was a risk for HerO. He's down the 1 game, he gambles it, and it doesn't pay off. Now Dia is up very, very heavily.
HerO was the first player to win with a perfect in an MLG. It was against the Terran, it was on Shattered Temple. I will remember it for the rest of my life. And right now, HerO is the one. Until a second ago, he had killed nothing. And he had lost about 575 resources.
He killed an Observer.
Are you kidding me? Deer is pulling a HerO against HerO right now. He's winning every single small fight that takes place. And every time he's able to get a lead from early on.
Yeah. Hallucinated Phoenix comes over here and sees everything, and now he's just thrown down so many gateways behind this. And he could actually just push. He could push.
Oh my god, the hallucination just flies into the main of HerO. He's gonna spot the gateways. He's gonna spot the extra gateways. He knows that this is Blink. He sees the amount of Stalker. He knows what's going to come his way.
If he goes with just a Colossus or two, even just one Colossus to break force fields, this is going to be great for Deer.
What do you mean? Deer's not going to be attacking. He's facing a mass blink Stalker. He's the one going to be defending.
Yeah, he's going.
Don't get ahead of him.
No, you're right.
He's in a good position,
I'm really eager right now.
Yeah. And does HerO change his plan from you? Does he cancel blink and go into charge? I think it's too late. He's going to have to commit to a lot of blink Stalkers. Actually, Deer is moving out. He's that confident. You are right.
Well, I think, he's always going to have the stronger army because of how ahead his expansion was. But in the end, it could just be a fake. It could just be a fake.
As much as he's ahead on army supply against this many gateways and mass blink Stalkers, there is going to be a time in a second where HerO catches up on army supply, and Deer could lose everything if he's too far out on the map. Yeah. He doesn't seem to agree with me.
It's like one Colossus with range, once it comes along with the army, is not that amazing in the combat, but of course it will provide ample...
Dude, you're right. He has 2 Immortals, he has 1 Colossus, he gets a ton of Zealots, he hallucinates Archons. You're right.
It's his time, man. It's his time. He's going to go forwards here and seize this army. He knows that these have to be hallucinations. He's can't commit to everything, but this is a massive, massive force he has. He blinks forwards. He's trying to kill off that Mothership core of all things, but the Immortals are doing so much damage behind that anyway. This is massively in favor of Deer here. That one Colossus...
he doesn't have an Observer. His Observer is across the map.
Okay, well, the GTs might be able to make a bit of a difference,
but they're not even attacking.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage he's taking for this. He's saving the Immortals very, very nicely, though, his HerO. Those 3 Dark Templar are holding on. I can't believe this. He's actually going to hold on against this. Those Dark Templar have just won him this engagement.
What in the hell? He's sending his Observer across the map now. And man...
Why didn't he bring it with him? He knew there were DTs.
And I think HerO was looking for that, by the way. HerO had his Stalkers plus his Observer looking for that Observer of his opponent. He knew that DT were his best chance. To his surprise and probably his supreme joy, he realized there was no Observer in Deer's army, so he was able to hold, but he's still in trouble.
I like that he's sending a Dark Templar over there, though, to try and buy himself more time, because still, he's not evened up things fully, because Deer still has a lead. Deer is still going to try and push on forwards. He knows he traded well despite a lot of his army dying to Dark Templars, and now the Observer is present. That Dark Templar's not going to do a whole lot. Meanwhile, there's the Warp Prism harass in the main base as well that tried to kill off an Immortal. They did get it. He's warping in Zealots after Zealots. This could be it here for Deer. All the probes come off the line as well. It looks like he might be able to crush on through. There's very, very little resistance left over here for HerO. GG! Deer is able to take the series 3-1.
Very, very cool game we just saw here, and man, you are right about it. I did not like if you see this many gateways and the Twilight upgrading and you know it's blink, you don't usually attack like this. At least if you're European, but Deer, he knew that he could make this work and he made it work. I have to say, I think the student has passed the master. Your PvP analysis, man, it's pretty sick. I just didn't see it. I'm gonna be honest here. I failed my analysis. I really thought this was gonna be in a defending mood, at least until later when he got a second, maybe a third Colossus. But he knew that with those 2 Immortals, the 1 Colossus, if you just made mass Zealots, use Guard and Shield, and even the hallucinations, they were brilliant. They tank so much damage.
The thing is if you're adding on those gateways and you're adding on 1 Colossus, but not committing to Thermal Lance of all things, what else are you going to do with this? It's very, very strong in a position like that because he knew he was always ahead. He knew he was ahead. The DTs didn't pay off for themselves. Very, very strong play there by Deer. Very strong. He read it great again, as you mentioned in the previous games. He read into that one just as well.
Bad news.
Bad news.
This is 4-4-4.
Uh-oh. Does that mean you're 0 for 4, Todd?
Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
This has to stop, guys. Something has to be done here. Somebody must stop Artosis.
I don't think you're going to have the best of days today, Todd, with these predictions if you stick to your
I'll be back tomorrow.
You'll be back tomorrow?
Maybe I can draw today.
Are you going to change your strategy for tomorrow, or are you going to stick?
I'm going to think about it. I think this was the thing to do for fun, for sure. To go completely against Artosis. Like, we all heard about the Artosis curse, but it looks like it just doesn't exist here in Katowice.
He's on point, man. He is on point, that's for sure. So congratulations to Deer for advancing on to the round of 8. And we now know our first games that we're going to be having in the round of 8, which will be fantastic. But for now, guys, let's hear from the winner himself, Mr. Mouse Deer.
One more time, give it up for Deer. Now, since BlizzCon, your results have shown a significant decline, but very recently, you're showing incredibly strong play. What do you attribute that to?
블리즈컨 하고 나서 성격이 좀 내려가면서 성격이 별로 안 좋아서 실력도 별로 잘 안 보여주고 근데 요즘 예전보다 게임 훨씬 잘하고 왜 그러는지 왜 갑자기 잘해졌는지도
그냥 이번에는 좀 마음 편하게 그냥 1억 생각 안 하고 그냥 1억 1등 말고는 상관없으니까 그냥 마음 편하게 했던 게 큰 것 같아요.
So he doesn't think about the prize money now. He just comes here and tries to play his game. He tries to be calm and not nervous and no pressure. He's trying not to be nervous and not pressured.
Well, your next opponent is Polt, who has shown incredibly strong play versus Protoss recently. How confident are you in that match? Are you scared, man?
지금 다음 상대가 폴트 선수인데 폴트 선수가 터스전을 정말 잘하는데 그걸 겁나는지 아니면 자신 있는지.
폴트 선수가 토스전 굉장히 잘하는데 저도 그만큼 테란저 엄청난 자신감 있기 때문에 제가 이길 것 같고 이제 1억이 점점 가까워지는 것 같아요.
So Poet is actually really good. His TVP is really good, but his PVT is not bad either. So he thinks that he can take him, that he can win, and that he can get closer to the 100,000.
Lastly, what would Deer do with $100,000?
1억 우승하면 그 돈으로 뭐 할 건지.
아직 생각 안 해봐서 그냥 좋은데 쓸 것 같아요.
He didn't think about where to spend the money, but he will find a good reason to spend it.
Wise man. Once again, give it up for Deer. Congratulations. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow. And we're going to pass it back over to our expert desk so they can analyze stuff.
So we can analyse stuff. Good stuff. Thank you very much, Jarrett. A lot to analyse, actually, chaps. He's a sensible lad, Deer, so I'm sure he'll do wisely with the 100 grand. But he's got a little way to go before that. We do have our upper bracket matchups now. We now know that the four players that are through, looking at right now, are HerO versus San, and we didn't quite get the full house of champions in there. We've got Polt versus Deer, but still a WCS Season 3 champion as well. So terrific lineup of semi-finalists. Let's talk a little bit about the game. Lots of skirmishes. HerO seemingly coming out better early on, and then Deer coming out a bit better in map 2, and then similar kind of thing, map 3. Like, there was nothing that we sort of went, wow moment. There was no real game-changing moment. So where did HerO go wrong?
You know, I feel like Deer just kind of read HerO very well throughout the series.
Yeah.
Sometimes HerO gets a little bit ahead of himself, overcommits a bit, and maybe chooses a tech route that, if it gets like blind countered, it just doesn't pay off, and that's especially what we saw in that last game.
Okay. What about Deer? I mean, we've said already he's on a bit of a comeback. I mean, it's not like he's been anywhere really, but he's only been around for 6-9 months now. But we expect so much from him, I think, because of the way that he went through Season 3 WCS. He says he doesn't care about the past. He is here to play his games and win. That's a great attitude to have, but he still needs form, right?
Yeah, but that attitude he has was probably the attitude he began with in the first place, which I think could be his biggest strength, because if you look at the way he just played, is very similar to how he played leading up to BlizzCon.
Yep.
Was like, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to scout this, then I'm going to react and do it perfectly. Yep. And that's kind of what we saw throughout that series. He scouts, he sees, he knows what to do, he does it.
Yep.
And there was no really time to think, there was no decision making that took longer than a couple of seconds. Everything was very clean and on point.
Yep.
And that's how we kind of grew to know Deer in those initial couple of months. And then after he got to that place and was at the top of the Protoss, food chain, then things started to go wrong. Maybe he was overthinking. As you mentioned on stage, he was thinking about the money a little bit too more.
Yep.
But then going back to the basics seems to be where he's going right again.
Okay. I mean, you've said he's very much a reactionary Protoss, which is not necessarily what we've seen across the board. There are other very aggressive Protosses. I mean, we've seen MC with some crazy builds recently, but it seems to work for him. But is there a danger he could be found out more easily by some of the other players in the tournament, particularly Polt, who we know is all very, very, very good at TVP?
I think that matchup in itself is just going to be epic. The first two semifinals are going to be crazy because there's not really that much that Polt can do to exploit somebody in a Protoss player like Deer. So I feel like he's just going to have to play his own game. Deer will play his own game. which I think would result in a really good series.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you're right. Disappointing for HerO. He showed us such class in Cologne and obviously at DreamHack Winter last year, and it seemed like, you know, from the previous year, he won DreamHack Winter and everyone was like, oh wow, it's another big Team Liquid player, he's going to go on a massive run. Didn't really hit a run, had to wait until the end of 2013, then he wins DreamHack Winter, then he comes back and wins Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, and you think, hey, now maybe this year really is his year. And yet again, Apollo hit the nail on the head early on before the game, and he said, some days he's hot, some days he's cold, and today he was cold.
He was a bit. You know, he's different. It wouldn't be fair if Team Liquid had two players that can just consistently win every tournament. Like, they already have Tasia, and he can basically come out every tournament and possibly win. HerO is a little bit more off and on. He's a little bit more emotional, and I think that helps to balance out the team. So, I'm okay with that. But, you know, it's hard on him because he does have the skill to kill off anybody. It's just, you know, sometimes he doesn't quite bring it, and I think especially against someone like DR, I think that's a bad matchup for HerO overall because he chooses his build and he tries to go for it, and he sometimes does overcommit, but DR, I feel like he wins the game when this hallucinated Phoenix flies over your stuff. I don't care what matchup it is, but he like re-verifies what he thinks you're doing, which he's already countering, and then he's just like, oh yeah, okay, I can kill you, cool. That's going to be hard for someone like HerO that kind of plays more on the edge of his seat.
Okay, let's just take a little moment to talk about the quarterfinals. We've got matches coming up this afternoon, of course. We did mention earlier on, you can watch the SOS match with Nathani, so you won't actually miss the game itself. We won't be showing that here on the main stage. We do have quite a lot of games to get through, of course. Tomorrow we're going to have CJ Enters HerO versus San and Polt versus Did. That's already an incredible quarterfinal, and we've still got the bottom half of the bracket to go today. It's insane.
They're such good matchups. I can't wait for both of those. They're both so epic, so hard to predict. Anyone could come out of that.
Okay, these two have currently had some interesting predictions, but Artosis right now, you have a perfect record, my friend.
I believe I do.
I believe you do.
I think I'm the only one because
I think you are the only one.
Myself and In Control both bet on that last one for Deer, so he didn't get them all before.
And Mr. Apollo over here.
I'm 2-2.
Yeah, you're 2-2 right now.
You're a coin flip, just like the community. That's interesting.
I think you just got called out, community, by Artosis. So if you think you know better and you think you can catch up on the king of predictions, as he is being known now, not the man that puts curses on players at all. Actually, we've proved that completely confounded. Actually, you can go to the prediction page on our Facebook page, facebook.com/IEM. Make sure you've liked the page, click on the tab, and you can predict all of the games today. And you could be on this show as an analyst. No, I'm joking. But congratulations, seriously, because
thank you.
4-0. You're almost on a BlizzCon-style red-eye spree here.
That's true. You got 8 for 8 in that first round. That was pretty sick.
Fluke.
I think you're going to drop down in the second half.
He even did Duck Duck versus Innovation for BlizzCon.
Yeah,
that's
that was epic.
That's the one that everyone got wrong.
Well, because it was the only one I looked at and went, do you know what? I think everyone's going to just pick Innovation. If I pick Duck Duck, then maybe I win and I look like a genius.
You look like a genius. You did.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Enough from us. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, though, more StarCraft 2 action. Don't go too far away. This is the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship.